Listen, you don't have to break the bank to get great quality sound out of Pro Tools. This DAW has some amazing stock plugins, and you may even use a few of them yourself. Today I'm going to give you the top 7 stock Pro Tools plugins you may have skipped over. You ready? Let's get into it. Let's start with one of my personal favorites, which is Lo-Fi. As we can see here on Lo-Fi, we have this sample rate slider. We can use this to give us somewhat of a low pass filter kind of sound. We also have sample size. So if we lower this, we can start to get us a old school hip hop kind of vibe. If you're aware, the older drum machines like the SP1200 were actually 12-bit machines. So if you're trying to emulate that kind of sound, a lo-fi sound, the main 2 features of lo-fi that I personally enjoy, that's gonna be the distortion knob and the saturation knob. Now let me tell you guys, a lot of you guys have a lot of third-party plugins that has saturation and distortion. A lot of times you don't have to use that. If you use these 2 features here in Pro Tools, I promise you, you can get some amazing results. Let's go ahead and take a listen. I have some drums right now here in a drum bus. I'm gonna play around with it. I'm gonna play around with the distortion, saturation, and I'm gonna show you what kind of sound we can get out of this. So let's take a dive into it. Lowered the bit depth a little bit. Then from there, I just added a little distortion and a little bit of saturation. And as you could tell, it made a huge impact. So as you're mixing your beats, your songs, your drums, whatever you're doing, keep in mind that you have a very, very powerful tool right here already built in Pro Tools. You don't have to go out and search for a $80 clipper or $90 saturation, distortion, whatever it is. You know, if you're looking to do something, especially to your drums, go ahead and look right here at Lo-Fi. It's incredibly powerful, very slept on, but very useful. Here's a really good tip. If you're mixing vocals, try using Lo-Fi on the vocals just to give it a little extra clarity, just a little extra saturation. You see here I'm only doing 0.2 on the distortion and the saturation. Try that on the vocals as well, just 0.1, 0.2. Try to A/B those 2, and then you'll notice how much clarity and how much of a difference it makes. You don't have to do too much, just a little bit goes a long way with this very powerful plugin. So now let's move forward to the next one. Plugin number 2 is gonna be Vari-fi. Now, Vari-fi is actually a pitch change audio suite plugin. So what does that mean? That means we can't just open this plugin and put it on our inserts like we typically do other plugins. We have to pull it up as an audio suite, and it's actually gonna render on the audio clip itself. That makes sense? So we're gonna go ahead and pull that up now. The plugin, you've probably heard it on popular songs already. It's that tape stop effect that you hear. I like to use it to kind of spice up tight beats whenever I'm mixing a song. Also, if I'm doing a clean version of a song on the curse words, if I'm not gonna do just silence, then I'll go ahead and use something like Vari-fi to kind of slur out the curse words, so that way the muting isn't too redundant. So let's go ahead and pull up Vari-fi right now. Let's go over it. So to open this plugin, let's go ahead and use Pro Tools search. So on my keyboard, I'm gonna do Control-Shift-S. This is gonna open up Pro Tools search. I'm just gonna type in Vari-fi. And if you're looking for a free guide that has a ton of useful Pro Tools shortcuts, make sure you check out my free guide. It's not just a guide full of random shortcuts that you're not going to actually use. These are useful shortcuts, and it's a free guide. So make sure you check that out in the description. Download it now for free and go ahead and use it in your next project. So let's take a look at Vari-fi here now. Very easy to use plugin. Just has a couple of features here. We have the slow down, and we also have the speed up. So it's not too much going on here. As a matter of fact, I have a beat pulled up here from a session. I'm just going to go ahead and show you how the plugin works, how it sounds, in case you've never heard it before. So let's go ahead and take a listen. So that's pretty much it when it comes to Vari-fi. You know, very easy to use plugin, straight to the point. As you can hear, is a real cool slowdown effect if you're working on a song of your own or mixing a song for a client. Great way to add some ear candy to kind of break up the sound of the type beat that they may be using and recording to at the moment. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next plugin. Plugin number 3, that's going to be Auto Panner. Now, if you've ever worked with an engineer from Atlanta, 9 times out of 10, you've seen this particular plugin. It's just something we tend to use. Now, Auto Pan does just that. Automatically pan. That's it. As you can see, these stock plugins are very simple and very effective. Now, how I personally like to use Auto Pan is on my ad-libs. So I like to use it to pan the ad-libs outside of the way of the lead vocal. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that right now.
She said she want me to grant her wish. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Yeah, yo. Yeah, yo. Yeah, yo. Yeah, yo. Yeah, yo. Yeah, yo. She said she want me to grant her wish. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Yeah, yo. Yeah, yo. Yeah, yo.
As you can hear, Auto Pan just gives the song a little bit more movement. It pushes the ad-libs out of the way. And especially if you have a very busy beat, and a lot of vocals, a lot of vocal stacks, ins and outs if you're dealing with rappers, and you want to make sure that there's something catching the listener's ear that's kind of out there instead of up front along with the lead vocal in a very simple way. And also, this plugin is not CPU intensive. I know there's other auto panners out there, but this is more than capable of accomplishing what you need to. So next time you're in a session, you want to push those ad-libs out the way, or however you decide to use this stock plugin, make sure you give it a try and see what kind of results that you get. So now let's move on to the next stock plugin. And plugin number 4, we have D-Verb. Now, D-Verb has been seen on quite a few major label records. If you ever take a look at some of the other content of professional engineers in the studio on how they mix their hit records, quite a few times you're gonna come across D-Verb. And there's a reason for that. D-Verb is versatile, it's very low CPU usage, and is easy to use. As you can see here, we have the different reverb types. We have the size of the reverb, decay, pre-delay, high cut, low pass filter, diffusion, and wet and dry slider here. And that's essentially all that you need. If you're working on a song and you're needing a good sounding reverb, why not just reach for D-Verb? It comes with the program and it sounds great. So the next time you're working on a song, you're thinking about typing in some fancy reverb that you buy and everybody else on the internet is posting pictures of it, go ahead and reach for D-Verb and see what kind of results that you get. Plugin number 5, that's gonna be Pitch 2. This is also another audio suite plugin. So what does that mean? That means we can't use it directly as an insert. We're going to be using this to render on the exact audio clip. So with Pitch 2, the way that I personally like to use it, I like to use it to pitch down vocals, giving things that chopped and screwed sound, or also pitch it up, kind of giving it that chipmunk kind of sound just to create some ear candy. For example, on this particular record here that I mixed for an artist, all I had to do was I found the clip of the audio that I want to use Pitch 2 on, go ahead and make the separation as you can see here. And all I did was I went ahead and made a copy. So on the keyboard, I went ahead and held down on Option, clicked on the clip, dragged it down. Now we're gonna go ahead and use the Pro Tools search once again. We're gonna do Control Shift S. That's gonna open up Pro Tools search. Now let's go ahead and open up Pitch 2. Type in pitch. We see it right there. Audio Suite, Avid, Pitch 2. Let's go ahead and click on that. Once we're here, we can see that we have Pitch 2. We have all the different features here. I primarily just use the coarse. That's gonna go ahead and change the vocals down to different semitones. And of course, if you want to get a little bit more detailed, you can use the fine knob. So all I did here was went ahead and pitched down the vocals. As a matter of fact, this instance, I believe I pitched it up. And then you have here this little speaker icon. And this is how you can preview how things are gonna sound with Pitch 2. Just hit that and you're gonna take a listen and see how things sound. So let's take a quick listen, play around with Pitch 2, and I'll give you an example.
Bow, 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 bow.
Want Hello Kitty boots, but I told her first, sheesh, let me see that kitty boo. Bow, 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 bow. I'm a special cat, bow.
As you can hear, I just went ahead and used that to give the vocals a little bit of ear candy. Next time you want to try something different, reach for Pitch 2. You never know what kind of results you're gonna get. So let's go ahead and move along to the next stock plugin. Stock plugin number 6 is gonna be Downmixer. Now, what does Downmixer do? This actually changes a stereo track over to a mono track. And as we can see here by this plugin, it's very easy to use as well. So let's take a look here. So one, we have mute, so we can mute the left signal or right signal. And then also here, you can see we have polarity. And this is gonna come into effect with the particular use case that I use Downmixer for. Now, I typically use this whenever I'm mixing a beat. Most producers bounce all their files as stereo wave files, but that may not necessarily be what's needed for the particular mix. Sometimes the kick, needs to go from stereo to mono, or the snare needs to go from stereo to mono, just because I'm feeling like it's gonna sit better in the mix if it's done that way. And Downmixer allows me to do that. As a matter of fact, if you add Downmixer onto your insert and you have stereo plugins after Downmixer, Downmixer is actually going to change those stereo plugins over to mono. That's the main reason that I use Downmixer. It's a great plugin. I don't quite know if any other DAW has a plugin like this, but Pro Tools does, and I love it. I use it, and I hope you do too. And finally, stock plugin number 7, that's gonna be Mod Delay 3. Now, I've actually gone back to older sessions in the past and listened to some of the effects that I was using, and it turns out I wasn't using some expensive $99 delay that I found somewhere on YouTube or Instagram. It was just Mod Delay. You know, I didn't expect Mod Delay to sound so good after such a long period of time, because sometimes me, and probably like you found yourself using all these new different tools that gets promoted to us online and in social media, and Mod Delay works very well. As a matter of fact, it has some really cool presets that you can mess around with here. It has quite a few of them, as we can see here in this list. And whenever you're working with your delays, don't be afraid to use another plugin along with it. You can add like a flanger, or hey, maybe even lo-fi. You might be able to get some cool results with that. So Mod Delay as a standalone is great, but you can also mix it with other stock Pro Tools plugins and get some really cool effects. I hope you enjoyed this video. As a matter of fact, I got a question for you guys. Do you have one particular stock Pro Tools plugin that I listed here that you use on a ton of tracks, or is there one that I actually missed? If I did, make sure you share that in the comments. Hey, I'm Desmond A. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe, and I'll be back with more great videos. Peace.
Desmond A.